Hi everyone, my name is Kate Malloy and I will be presenting on wearable technology. This presentation I will be presenting particular questions on a particular subject throughout the presentation, as well as at the end of the presentation I'll be discussing more general ideas and hoping we can get some questions answered there. If that all sounds okay with you, we're going to go ahead and get started. During this presentation here, I'm going to touch base on the past of wearable technology, so look at some current trends and successes, failures. Then we're going to briefly touch on the future just because it's such a guesstimate, we're not really sure where it's going to go. And lastly, I'll give you guys some questions, hopefully get the wheels turning on ideas and the best way to look at the future of wearable technology. And we'll go ahead and just jump right in. So hopefully some of these items look familiar to you. I know that as a kid, they were a majority of my first half of my first decade. We had these around the house. These are some of the first wearable technology that we had. Um, you'll see the digital watch to the left, the Walkman to the far right, and in the middle you'll see the Discman. What were some of the earliest wearable technologies that everyone else has seen? So, love to hear about that. And if it was these three, great. If it was something different, definitely let us know. I'm interested. I did have also a Tamagotchi, which I didn't include, but if you're familiar with that, I'm sure some of you may have had that as well. Looking ahead just at the history, first we have the digital watch being created in 1972. For $2,100 was the entire cost. That's something I looked at and was shocked at, honestly. Next, we have the Walkman being created in 1979, and Sony then quickly moved forward with, in 5 years, to the Discman. Many renditions of the Discman were then created by different companies, still in existence today. If you were to go to Best Buy, by no means is it the popularity it was. Now with the iPod, other portable audio players, your phone, you just don't see many of these. Looking into today, we've had some changes in the wearable technology environment. We are pretty much all familiar with the iPod and the Apple Watch. Not sure how familiar everyone is with the Nike Plus iPod feature. It was a feature created in the early 2000s for those runners, walkers, joggers. They had the ability to put a chip in their Nike shoe, which would then send radio electric waves to your running device, whether that be an iPod. It transitioned into then the iPhone, but it would show you your metrics of how far you've run, how many steps, your speed, the elevation changes. So that was more of the more transition to the wearable technology for those involved in active wear. Quickly escalated then to the pedometers, which, if you remember, they were little clips you would put on your waistband to track how many steps you were walking in a day. You'd also went forward to the Apple Watch, which many people I see around today. So those were some of the successes of wearable technology. A big area I wanted to talk on was the failures or opportunity section of the Google Glass. Not sure how many people were actually familiar with that. It was a set of glasses you would wear, and on the left hand side there was a camera that you would have on there. Image is going to be over to the right there for you to view. This was a technology that was supposed to be presented to the population in 2012 for about $1,500. If you remember, the first watch was actually $2,100. So quite some changes of cost. This was going to allow individuals to see text message, videos, record, all from using their eyes and looking up towards the left hand screen would generate a menu to pop down in your glasses. This was classified as one of the best inventions in 2012 by New York Times. It was worn by models in New York Fashion Week. It also had its own spread in Vogue. This was a technology that was supposed to be the next big thing. But there were some kinks in the system that prevented it from even coming out. People were concerned mostly about privacy. People did not want to be recorded in bathrooms. Entertainment business did not want movies recorded in theaters. And this could all be done by the glasses. So there were stories of individuals having to take them off, even if they were prescription glasses as well. Another big issue was safety while driving. Today we see the big trends of texting and driving, and with these glasses, there's no way to prevent, no laws in place at the time to prevent wearing them while driving. So that was another big issue that lawmakers were having. As well as the system actually had some bugs that couldn't be worked out before launch date. But this was something that Google had pushed for to get out there, have the advertisement, feature the technology at different technology events and expos. But there were too many things holding it back for it to actually be successful. So, wanted to see, what did you think about those concerns? Did you think those are valid concerns that a company needs to address before launch, or is it something you launch and then address later on? Moving forward, I'm sure many of you have the Fitbit. I walk around Xavier and I see many people wearing it. Still kind of deciding if you consider that a success or a failure. I mean, many people are still wearing it, but if you remember recently, there has been a lot of news on whether or not that is accurate. Big lawsuits coming out regarding the measurement of your blood pressure. So, with that, is it something to be accurate, or is it more so, is it a lawsuit that's generating this discussion? Fitbit is standing behind their tracking. They're saying that the study presented in the lawsuit is inaccurate and it's being manipulated by the prosecution. So, wanted to know, what do you guys think on Fitbit? Does that concern you at all, the changing and the tracking? So, let me know, because I personally don't have a Fitbit, but want to see what those who do think of this recent development. Next, we have the future. No one truly knows what the future looks like except those developing it. So, a few that stand out to me for wearable technology are the smart clothing, which is able to track your physical activity, measure your heart rate, and all of that information while working out. And it's just as simple as a shirt. It's more tightly held to your body, so it can hopefully get it more accurate. But that's something that they're looking at. Also, you have wearable solar, which blows me away that we are so connected to our technology that we would actually consider wearing solar panels on our clothes in order to charge our phones, our laptops, etc. There's also some smart health issues that would be addressed by new technology. Want to know what you guys think of these? They're a bit odd, but that's where the future is going. Looking ahead, just some questions to think about. 20 years from now, what do you think is going to exist as wearable technology? Do you think that it's going to be significantly different, or just improvements on technology we already have? How about those other wearable technologies I didn't have the time to address today? What are some that you are currently using, and what are your experiences with those? Also, for those in the health field, I would love to know what kind of wearable technology can be implanted internally in your body. One example is smart contacts. What do you think that looks like in the future, and how do you think that exists? Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from your comments and having a great discussion. Have a wonderful weekend.